Hello, my name is Enki, and I'm a digital artist. Every year since 2018, I've participated in Art Fight, the art trading game. This year, I'm making a big change, and I'm giving all of my characters turnaround reference sheets because I feel fancy. Every week, I draw one of these, and I then record a speed paint and a voiceover in which I tell you about the character. This week's character is quite dear and near to my heart. She is the first character I got to play with my current D&D group. Funnily enough, though, not the first campaign I finished. We will get into that later. Been drawing this woman since 2020, if not earlier. She's kind of an oldie and a goodie. I think I used to have an old video of me doing an animation of her, but I privated it because it was bad and didn't have any audio, and that's lame. Enough dawdling, let me introduce you to the character herself. This is Ashei. She is elf. She's a rogue, and she's an elf. Things she is also a princess. She doesn't want you to know that part, though. I'm mostly going to be talking about character backstory here, and character, family and motivation, because I played this character in a campaign that lasted a bit over text. Then that got put into hiatus, and then that was brought back in an actual voice format, and then that got put into hiatus again. Hi, Hogo, I know you're watching this, because you watch these as background sometimes. It's okay, buddy. So about that backstory. Ashei is a rogue. She's also a princess. This might lead you to think she's one of those, my parents died types of, I'm a, dethroned princess that got a coup done against her. You'd be wrong. That was my original concept for Ashei. I found it a bit generic and overdone. No shade to people who like that archetype. I think it's a good archetype. It can be used really effectively, but I wanted to do something a little less common, I guess. I wanted to feel special. So I decided to play a princess rogue who did have a family. Not a good one necessarily, though. You see, it was roughly at the time that I conceived this version of Ashei that I had finally gotten around to watching Avatar. Yes, Avatar, The Last Airbender. You might think, Inky, isn't Avatar The Last Airbender from 2005? Yes. It aired on the TV when I was a little girl. I did not get to watch it because they aired it too late at night and my parents didn't let me see it. This is about as much of a clue as I will give to you as to how old I am. Would have watched Avatar on the telly as a child. God, my friends have me saying telly? My fucking British friends have me saying telly! Oh, I'm cooked! So I see Zuko, right? This prince that's been banished from his home, despite being entirely correct and also a child. And I'm like, yes, I can do something like that. And so I decide that my princess is going to be a banished princess, and she's a rogue because she's picking pockets to keep herself afloat. Partially, she just steals from rich people enough to pay for basic stuff she needs, like food and clothes and water. She's kind of like a very small-scale Robin Hood in that sense. She only takes from the rich, and she doesn't give to every poor, she gives to herself. It's subsistence, mostly. I also just went ahead and gave her, really crappy parents. I gave her the crappiest of parents. Why am I saying crap? I can say shit. I don't get paid for this. I don't get monetized. I have 70 subscribers. I can say fuck. Her parents are wizards, and they are from a noble line that initially was fairly well-intentioned, and then over the years, as their kingdom settled into peace, the ruler class became more and more and more and more obsessed with optics, to the point where these days that's all they do, really. They care about keeping people content, and about keeping people on their good graces. Tradition dictates that every monarch of the kingdom should be a wizard, because the first of them was a wizard. She was a really cool wizard, actually, historically speaking. And of course, Ashei is not a wizard. Ashei was in training to be a wizard. Ashei should have, by all means, been a wizard. Ashei got lessons and practice and materials for wizardry her entire life, but she just can't cast to save her life. Not helped by this is the fact that her sister Arwen actually can cast. Her sister is a perfectly fine wizard. So of course the parents are thinking, oh man, we have a really lame child as crown princess. She can't actually rule. We're going to be taken as a joke. She's going to be questioned. We are going to look like fools if we let this non-caster be the queen. So what if we could have the other one be the princess, the crown princess? But not everything is so simple in the kingdom of Esmane, which is where Ashei is from, because Esmanian elves love bureaucracy. They love taking their sweet time. They will not have things back to you in a day, they will have things back to you in a week at the earliest. Also, they love convoluted paperwork. So the sheer degree of paperwork it would take to actually, change the heir, insane. Also, would look really bad, oopsie, we made a crappy heir. Or so Ashei's parents think anyway, they're crusty musty bitches. Don't listen to them. So, of course, Ashei's parents are very much waiting for the perfect excuse to get rid of this stupid child they don't like and have the other one be the heir. They're not going to try to have her assassinated because that could turn into a PR nightmare really quickly, but their opportunity comes soon enough. Because during, a diplomat visit to Esmane, a very sleep-deprived Ashei, who has not been sleeping properly in years because she keeps staying up way too long to try and figure out this magic thing, to no avail. She's very tired, and she causes a quote-unquote diplomatic incident. She makes him look bad with a diplomat from a foreign country. She spills the wine on him. Because again, she's tired. That, combined with a couple other minor incidents, is enough of an excuse for her parents to be like, that's it, that's enough, you're kicked out of the country. Honestly, it's easier to do the paperwork for a banishment than it is to do the paperwork for a change of heir. And we can bury the lead on that paperwork more. Do you know how much paperwork the royal house puts out? Yes, it's all publicly available, because we like to make people think we're transparent. But we can just tuck it in between a couple bills, and 90% of the populace is just not going to bother finding out. And that's how Ashei got kicked out of her house. It's a little less dramatic than Nezuko, but still. I really hate paperwork, can you tell? She's, legally she's the crown princess. Still, but because she can't set foot on Ismanian soil, she can't actually claim the throne, which means that her sister will get to claim the throne, so functionally she's not the crown princess, even though legally she is. Not that it matters to Ashei, who spent the next couple decades figuring out everything. How to survive on her own, where to stay, what to do, how to pickpocket people, and how to break into noble balls, because she's still got the noble demeanor. So actually, if you just pretend that you're supposed to be there and maybe forge a document to pretend you were invited, people don't actually question her presence. She looks like she belongs. So she goes to those, and then she yoinks an expensive ring from a noble or something and fucked off. Extra point to hammer home how bad her parents are. Elves age slightly slower than most other races, but not by that much. An elf is physically mature by 20 something. But because they live far longer, say 500 years in our setting, they're not considered adults until they're 100, because they're deemed to not have the proper life experience. This somewhat varies from region to region, but in Ashei's it is 100. You are not expected to move out until 100. You cannot drink until 100 because elves are canonically lightweights in our setting. We impose a disadvantage or a penalty to their drinking rolls. It's very easy for them to make poor choices, so they are not trusted with drink until they're 100 years old, because by then they won't make bad choices, presumably. Ashei was banished aged 70. Ashei is a child. Legally in her country, she is considered a child. Mind you, she's about as physically mature as an adult woman. She's got a frontal lobe developed and all, but by her culture standards, she does not have enough life experience to sustain herself. And yet here are her parents just booting her out of the house. Ashei is not 70 by the time I'm playing her. Ashei is 125 by the time I'm playing her. The populace is starting to think it's a little weird that their princess isn't there, but she might have gone to study abroad, she might be really focusing on her studies, she might have fallen ill. Maybe she died and the royal family isn't saying it. There's a lot of speculation, but who's to say? But, truth be told, their princess is just using a different name. Oh yeah, Ashei is not her birth name. It is her name in every sense of the word. Elves in her country have a tradition that once you hit 100, you just pick yourself a new name, and then your child name is only used by really close friends and family and maybe some people who knew you back then. Ashei, having been kicked out of the house, was very afraid that someone would try to kidnap her for ransom, that she knew her parents weren't gonna pay. So she just went ahead and instead of having a new name at 100, she just picked a new name at 70 and covered her face. She's developed the habit of always having her face somewhat covered because it started as paranoia of what if someone figures out who I am and tries to hurt me? And it's now just a thing that she feels comfortable doing. So Ashei is her name. It's not a fake name, it's her second name. Her family doesn't know her second name because they kicked her out before she could pick one, but it is her name. So Ashei learned a new set of skills that she was better at than magic, that being thievery and roguish stuff. And she just started traveling around Conjurbell. She just started traveling around the continent, just doing her thing. At first it was really bad because, she got kicked out of the house and her entire life is thrown out the window. She's never seen her sister again. She doesn't love her parents. She knows her parents don't love her, but she's never seen them again either. And she's alone and hungry. She's got very little money. She doesn't know what to do. But eventually she starts figuring it out and kind of grows into the role. It's a decent way into the era of having figured it out that Ashei is now playable. That's when I play her. And she meets her party mates to be a human boy named Astrum. Astrum is a disaster in every way a person can be, except for looking good. He does look good. And he also plays music nicely. Self-taught too. He is a noble boy from Cyril, whose mother is kind of dead, but not really. It's complicated. She's got a curse. She might as well be dead functionally, but she is alive. His father is kind of crappy and emotionally abusive. Yay. So Ashei's immediately this is a little fellow. I will protect him. He is very young and foolish. Yes, boy, you can come with me. Someone's gonna keep you safe. 2 sessions later, she learns his backstory because he gets drunk and just can't help but spill it out. And she's instantly he is like me. This is my son now. She doesn't say it, and if you asked her, no, the boy has a real mother who he loves very much and who is alive, cursed, but alive. So she's not his mother. Also, they met a couple weeks ago at most. But that is functionally her son. He's a little guy who's just like her for real. We didn't even plan to coordinate our backstories, it just happened like that. A couple things happened before the hiatuses. Astrum commits manslaughter, Ashei tricks a bunch of people, Astrum adopts an egg that is going to hatch into a child. Ashei feels like he's very irresponsible and not going to be a good parent, so she guesses she'll be a mother twice now. We meet the avatar of a minor deity. We stop by a wizard village. Ashei does not feel particularly happy about that one. Oh yeah, and the friends of the guy Astrum manslaughter put a death threat on him. They're going to try and kill him at some point. Not before the hiatus hit, so I don't know what happens there. I don't know when we'll be back. I don't know. Honestly, you guys know about as much as I know. I don't know if Ashei's family is ever going to get their comeuppance or not. I don't know if she'll reunite with her sister. I don't know what's gonna happen to her silly little son boy, who, by the way, is cursed. He has a literal, ticking time clock curse that might end his life very horribly within the next decade or 2. I don't know what's gonna happen. So actually, you tell me what you think might happen to these 2 chuckle fucks when they come back, if they come back, and I will put all of that in a bingo if anyone tells me anything. I will put it in bingo, I will fill the rest of the spaces with my predictions, and then if the campaign comes back, I will play bingo with our collective predictions. Yes, this is a very direct call to action. I want you to tell me something. I want you to speculate with me. That includes you, Tatos. You watch these, and you play Astrum, so you also have to join my bingo. Just gonna go ahead and put the 3 designs on the screen while I do the send-off. Like, comment, and subscribe, and also I have social media. I have a playlist of these. If you liked this one, you're probably gonna like some of the other ones. If you are curious about curses and how those work, I recommend this one. I am an artist, I have a coffee, I take commissions. You can get a drawing of your character. You can get a resheet of your character. Also other cheaper things. That's all, goodbye.